we're gonna be watching the best Trackmania records from September. We begin the month of September 7 days in, when the player Mumba from Finland, player you might not know much of before, sets his first ever world record in the game, and he got it on C15, a map that is universally disliked by almost all Trackmania players, for the simple reason that it is one of the most buggy maps in the entire game. Playing this map is subjecting yourself to a landing bug simulation, where you never really win, you only survive every now and then and don't lose. Old world record by Demon, and he beats him by 100th. Similar starts here, but he's marginally ahead, and then you have this loop jump where the landing is just on so many polygons and mixed things that if you crash into one of them, you bug, and it's a horrible experience. If you survive, you then have to drive a clean uphill line, get the good booster there. Demon got so much speed from that, and then all the way out wide on the dirt, so that you go through the last turn here with a lot more speed. Demon with a better speed slide coming up to the finish jump. They both have to slow down to get under the arch. And Mumba just does it 100th faster throughout. But his start shows, like, if you combine the replays here, Mumba's start with Demon's end, there's probably a little bit more potential. It's just a matter of, are you actually gonna go and play this? Like, Demon's record here is from 2023. The one before that is Hefest's record from 2021, I believe. People don't really play this map because you might only get past the loop once every hour without a bug, and then you have a chance at this. And very common is to crash into the wall on the right here, or just crash into the finish, honestly, because the last jump's hard. But yeah, 8 days in. It took 8 days for the first world record to be set. Here's the reactions to Mumba's record, where he not only got the world record, but improved his PB by 0.2 of a second. And then, if you look here, we have other people hunting. We have Oogie, who got very close, not only once, but twice, to beating A13. Just to give you guys a perspective, because I think we're reaching an era in Trackmania now, where the records are so optimized that you might see a lot more of people getting close than people getting the top spot. Like, going for maps now, you're kind of maybe going for just a good score, rather than all the way for a record. But here we have Oogie's 2 attempts. I don't actually know where he's from. New player to me. But Simi's 34 here is an insane run. Look at the start Simi had. Let's jump on board with Oogie for the shortcut, where you jump out to the side, bug slide bounce, and Simi's flight to the boosters is just so clean. You see a very different landing spot and flight here. And you actually think you might want all the boosters, but if you can get a more direct line, it's faster. Simi's run is nuts. Simi's run, I think, beat the tool-assisted record on this, which is so dumb. It's so dumb. So, very, very nice from Simi. And if you go over here, Kimura as well was contesting D03. At first, he got 3rd. I think he was the 3rd person to get the shortcut successfully. And then another run here, 1483. And the record is 1459 by Hefest. Thing about this map, it's forced camera 3. So you're gonna see them do a speed slide on the boosters in the start here to get enough speed to jump out of the wall right and try to fly to the finish. It looks so similar, but the bounce here decides the outcome of your run. And the problem with trying to perfect this is that this is the camera perspective that the game forces you to have on this map. You cannot change this. So you're seeing literally nothing when you're aiming for the finish. And you're kind of just hoping. It took many, many years to get the right amount of speed to actually do the shortcut for people. And then after it was found, Hefest got it, Roland got it, but then it was kind of just left stagnant. And Kimura is trying to pick up the pieces here to beat Hefest, but you really need an insane bounce into the finish. So he was trying that early on in September. There was also some theory crafting going on. Joe Halls asks, why is no one going for the Ramstein bug on B14? If you can get crazy speed there, one time, it's pretty safe to world record. Probably won't get any attempts, as it's very rare. And then we're talking about this strategy. It's a tool-assisted strategy to get a Ramstein bug. So this is the tool-assisted record on the map. This was done just to prove what is possible in theory. It's not an actual run that's on the leaderboards. But the thing they're talking about is that you can get a bug right here. This wheel lift, if you look at my mouse cursor, right here you get a wheel lift. So we go back a bit. Lifts the wheel, which then gives you a nosedive and crazy speed for this next part. And it might not look like much right now, but if you compare that strategy to the current world record, I believe it's the German car here. Yeah, so you compare right now, they're pretty much equal going into this, and then the nosedive plus the speed, you just zoom ahead. Like, you're so fast. So, Ramstein bug strategies have been a thing in the game for a while, but now we're trying to go for more and more crazy ones. The problem with this one is that the setup for it is so difficult. It's not like you have a lot of time to aim. You're coming through a turn at full speed and you have basically no time at all to line this up. So a very hard Ramstein bug. While people were talking about this one, I suggested, let's try a different one. B01 Ramstein bug feels like it has much more potential to happen. And then Heffa says that this one has been tried by Jav and that it probably isn't going to happen. Link says he has tried it, but that it's harder than it looks to save time. But Link, despite being a doubter here, actually goes ahead and tries it. And then shortly after, he just spams the group chat. Literally, how long is this? Yeah, it was like 2 hours later. And what Link has gotten here is an insanely unlikely Ramstein bug on the map. I'll show you guys. So first of all, very hard to play this map because of the start. You need a really good gear up at the end of the dirt turn. Perfect no slide all the way through and then gear up before the drop. If not, you lose 0.2 of a second. This is so hard to do. So now he's competitive. And then right here, pop the wheel to nosedive over the edge, catching up more speed than Heffest. Last jump, but he's out of space, he's out of time. It's a tie. A tie on the finish line. This record is from 2021, and it almost got beaten just randomly by Link. Absolute god gamer. In what he said was 5 minutes of trying. Popping the wheel here to dive over the hill. Landing on the ram without landing bug. Very rare as well. And he kind of panicked this turn. If he didn't panic, which I don't blame him, but if he didn't panic, maybe he could have had a 23. We're in the Ramstein bug era. We just are. Like, these bugs, you're gonna see them more and more, right? Dead tie on the finish. That shows that there is some potential for this, but very hard to pull off successfully, right? With that in mind, Logic, another really good Trackmania player, decided to hunt the map. And he made pretty quick progress. He made pretty quick progress in the next days. We were playing it a lot on the server, and he started by getting a 25-30, the record 25-24. Then he got a 25-29 and a 25-25, all within the span of about a week. And I'm gonna show you guys these runs now. I have actually never watched these, so I don't know the quantity that are with or without bugs. I just know he was getting very close for a while. German cars are Logic's runs, and the Croatian car is Heffest. So the start, he gets the gear up on all the runs, but you can see Heffest's run without the bug is basically perfect. And then, setting up on the side. Oh, he got it. Wait, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I didn't know this, but I see it now. His fastest two runs don't get the bug, but look at this one. His slowest start. Pop. Sick nosedive. Way more speed than Heffest. He's so far behind. And yet he makes it down to a 100th gap at the finish. He's only 100th behind right here. So this nosedive was crazy, right? Like, this shows the potential. Just look at this. Look at the gap. Lots of potential. Still very hard and very frustrating map to play. But he was going for it. And I'm happy to announce that later in September, same month, couple of days later, Logic pulled through, guys. Heffest had this record for 3 years straight, and it was thought to be basically maxed normal way. Then, Logic got this run on B01. Take a look. Slower in the start, expected, still got the gear up start. Nice tight turn, and then, boom. Ramstein flick down the hill, he's catching up. Sayonara Hafest, I'm not sure how to speak Croatian, but 1/100th of a gap as he crosses the finish line. Right here. And the exact time is a 20, I think it's a 25-23 mid. Interesting Trackmania quiz question. When should you air brake here? When do you think you should air brake after this happens? Like early or late? Because the intuition is that you want your car to land parallel to the hill, so you might want to air brake early, right? What Logic realizes is you should actually air brake super late. Because the later you air brake, the earlier the front wheel touches the ground. And his run could have been 1 or 200ths faster if he waited even longer before air braking. Which is, to me, very counterintuitive, but... And that is the second world record of September. It's just so hard nowadays. Nothing is free. It's just really hard to get records. We might need some more people trying, including players that originate from Trackmania 2020. Luke Fast is an Italian player who plays mostly Trackmania 2020, and then he booted up Nations Forever and went for the second oldest current world record. The world record on BO6 is from 2019 by Magic Pete. It's a 2678. And some Nations players haven't heard of him. It's very fun with all these new players that started in 2020. Coming back on the old game, right? Another old record, in fact, the oldest current standing one, has also been challenged. And this one is a little sad. A Korean player called Viun has spent, and I'm not exaggerating, look at the green timer, 1,471 hours playing A12 speed consecutively. This is only this map. This is a real timer. 1,471 hours of A12 only. He documents the attempts on his YouTube channel. It is a lot of good attempts over there. Like 8 months ago, he had 300 hours on the map. Then he said he choked 4 months ago. He said sorry because he crashed the finish. But the saddest of all is this. This run from September, where he actually tied the world record. He tied Hefe's legendary 1061 from 5 years ago. And you'll see the comparison here, but he gets a drift into the Uber bug. It looks good. He releases. He accelerates now to get into the finish. Tied to the 100th. Here's his reaction.
No! Oh.
My heart breaks, dude. Like, just give him the record at this point. It's 1,400 hours. Here's the comparison. Shouldn't have released. His release was actually super good. So, we're on board with Hefest. Viun's car in the back. Now, you can tell his start is worse. His start is worse. He messes up the start trick here, which does already lose him a few hundredths. But it's not that simple. Viun, after 1,400 hours, has realized he does this on purpose. Because what happens is with a little bit less speed, he hits one of the lines on the wall here, which triggers the Uber bug in a better spot. So it looks like he's throwing, but the Uber bug is better. However, he got such a fast Uber bug that he has to release so much in the air. And as they cross the finish line, despite it looking like Viun is ahead, Hefe's right wheel here is just fast enough. Super sad for Viun. The release was actually really good. Like, look at this. You can see his inputs right here. I'll actually move the chat. Look at when he released Accelerate. Hefest goes full speed until like mid-air. Viun releases here. So the Uber bug happens at 664. He's already stopped accelerating at 666. It's a crazy early release. He just knows this by feeling. And then look how long he has to release for too. He has to release until here, you know? Hefest spends, I think it's 0.5 seconds not accelerating in the air. Viun spends, I think it's like over 1 second releasing. And he accelerates again at a really good point and then holds accelerate all the way. You know, there's more space. He could have maybe had it, but this is a really good attempt for what the bug was. It's a really good attempt. And he's been so close. So Go to Viun's YouTube channel, guys, and send some support. I think you have to be losing your mind after playing a map this much, but he can absolutely beat this. He's had so many good attempts. He can absolutely beat it. So let's cheer him on and hope he can get it. Interestingly, guys, the next record I'm going to show you is on the first map we took a look at. C15. Demon wasn't having any new guy on the block beating his record. No, not happening. About 2 weeks after he lost his record, he takes it back. So this is just Demon holding down the maps he's the best at. Demon has some maps like this that, you know, if you beat him, he's going to be very quick to take them back. He's a natural on some maps. So here, he's able to match Mumba's slightly faster start. The nosedive into the loop is good, but again, look at the lead for Mumba. And then, where Demon gained last time was straightening out slightly better onto the booster for more speed. Right here. And now he's faster up the hill. That part done excellently to close the gap. And then slightly wider side up on the dirt so he gets more speed now. Pulling ahead, and then a really good release. A really good release to go under the finish. 200s faster. But yeah, this part right here, if Mumba can nail this turn the same way, we might see him take this back again in October or November, who knows. Next record we're gonna take a look at, guys, is also a world record. The day is the 26th of September, and probably the most eventful one in this month, where finally, Italian legend Luke Fast from TM 2020 beats the second oldest record that was standing in the game. The 2678 here is from 2019. Very, very fun to have a Trackmania 20 player coming back to Nations and taking a record. Let's take a look. By 100th. This is going to look very improvable, but don't get deceived. Luke Fast with a better start, and then on to the second booster. Magic Pete is going to catch up, and you're like, what's going on? Why is the differences changing so much for such a short map? It's because of this right here. You need to hit the sign and get pushed into the downhill with a perfect landing. So this entire map revolves around this one jump. Just look at the precision you have to get for this. It's so crazy. It is a perfect jump to get pushed into the downhill. And if you don't get that, you're not competing for the record. Also in the start here, it's a little strange because if you get this first landing perfect, then you'll be too fast for the second booster. Pete lands better on this booster than Luke does, so he catches up back up. So, you know, still improvable, but really tough. Really, really tough. And this record is much better than the differences give it credit for. This is an insane bounce to get from the sign. There's a reason the 78 wasn't beaten for 5 years, and it might be another 5 years till someone beats this. 76 looks really hard to get. But guys, I said 26th of September was a special day because not only did one record fall, in fact, we had 2 records on the same day. And the other world record I'm going to show you guys was indeed DO3. Kimura played this map for 60 hours, and this marks the second world record Hefes lost this month, plus one of his that were tied. Let's take a look at this from Kimura's point of view. His first Nations record, although he has many in United. Good speed slide into the wall ride, jumping out slightly more to the left than Hefes, while still getting enough speed for the bounce into the finish. And he nearly screwed this up with countersteering, I think. Countersteered pretty early, so his car is nose up, where you just want the wheel to be across the line without the nose up, you know? If his car was flatter, I think it would probably be 100th faster. But it's camera 3. You see this, and you think, oh dear lord, what's going on? So yeah, 60 hours of playing for this jump right here. Another new record, very fun. Then for another interesting one, guys. One of my best friends in Trackmania is called Trinity. He hunts Ramstein bug maps. We've talked about the Ramstein bug era of the game. And Trinity loves to hunt Ramstein bug maps. He's had the world record on AO3 before. He's had the world record on AO9 before. And then recently, AO9 was stolen from him by Link. So he wanted it back. And this is a map where You drive normal for the first part of it, but then you Ramstein bug here and try to land into the downhill. He overdumped the downhill in this attempt. And for the next couple of days on Discord, Trinity just kept sending me attempts. He was like, bro, I am so close. And he kept sending me all these Ramstein bugs. And what you need for a map like this is consistency. The bug you get, it's so hard to control in the moment, but if you get enough of them, one is gonna finally land the downhill. So if you just keep sending your car to this ram and you hit the spot, you are gonna get one. And he's getting these with really fast first checkpoints too. That's one thing that he improved greatly over his previous record here in terms of pace, is that he can get the first checkpoint faster now. Better starting lines, which we can't really see yet. But lots of potential. He had this one, which is insane. With this checkpoint, 1297, if this just dips over the edge a little bit better, it will land down there and world record. So Trinity was trying this, and I have the pleasant news that he did eventually succeed. But in classic speedrunner fashion, he wasn't happy with it. Some Gusta in the screenshot is Trinity. He got a new PB on the track by 1200ths and beat the world record by 100th. And he says he's sorry because, in his own words, his ending was garbage. End is so mid. You know, it's very much so a speedrunner phenomenon. You set a new PB, you set a new record on something, and you kind of just hate your run. It's so hard to be happy with a run when you know how much there's to improve. But that aside, let's enjoy the new world record on A09 by Trinity. Better speed slides on the start here on the grass, followed by a really clean uphill flick onto the engine off. Then the Ramstein bug spot to hit here is exactly where the blue meets the green. That's what he's aiming for. Boom, pop the wheel, control the car, land in the downhill smooth. He finally gets there. And now he just needs to bug slide across the pond here and into the finish. And to a regular Trackmania viewer's eyes, that looked perfectly fine. But if you watch the comparison, you'll see what Trinity is talking about. Slightly better start. Just about equal though. And then, better landing in the downhill, more speed than Link. Full car length lead going into the water part. And then he doesn't fully land the bug slide angle. So right now, Link is bug sliding, Trinity is bug sliding like now, and that's the speed difference. So Link ends up catching up, I think around 500ths. Trinity checked this with the task tool, and he said he could get a 2418. So starting his car from here, his best could get a 2418 instead of 26. So 800ths actually. But it's still a record. It's still really good. And you have to be kind of crazy to try to hunt that. I've hunted that map a lot. I have 4th on the leaderboard with a 2450. So people don't really like playing A09 because it's so hard with the Ramstein bug. But guys, that is all the records of September. We had Mumba, we had Link tying BO1, then we had Logic on BO1. We had Viun tying A12, we had Luke Fast, we had Kimura, we had Demon, and we had Trinity. That's 8. 8 new records in September. And so far, October's been a pretty cool month too, but I can't tell you guys about that yet. Anyways, guys, that's all the records for September. I'm gonna try to make this a monthly thing, so check in next month to see where the records are at, and I mean, go beat some, and you'll be featured in the recap. Thank you all for watching. Say bye to Twitch chat. They're saying bye to you guys on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, YouTube. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Okay, I just want to educate my chat on this. When we are talking to YouTube and we're saying bye, we are not saying things like, Virtual, give me back my son.